The pandemic in March, we were here in the office, and I remember we were all hearing information about how there was going to be a shutdown and that this pandemic it's hit Boulder County. And I'm like, I think we need to be prepared to work from home. And then bam, we were working from home. We'd never worked from home or a community center. People walk in our front door. But luckily our team is tech savvy. Charlie, who does a multitude of things, all of a sudden became a tech expert.
COVID affected my life pretty heavily and my job. My position became much more tech heavy once COVID hit. We switched all of our groups to an online platform as well as many events, and so I had become familiar in using Zoom and other online platforms as well as working on our web security.
But within 2 weeks, we had all of our programs up and going online. Jenna had the youth program up and going within a week of the virtual environment. So we were able to get program going. It was hard for access. Some people don't have computers. Some people don't have internet. Some people got really depressed in all of it because there was no connection. A lot of our community lives alone. I live alone. All of a sudden, I'm at home 24/7. Working, trying to figure out what we do, and we just came together and we had meeting after meeting of how we do that.
Back in January, Marty Moore and Jorge de Santiago from El Centro Amistad began conversations with Boulder County Public Health to talk about equity work in vaccines. We had done a survey, and the survey kind of was eye-opening and let us know there were quite a few people in the LGBTQ community who were hesitant to get the vaccine. And more importantly, they were hesitant about public health agencies being the one to dispense the vaccine.
This winter, when we started to prepare for our response for vaccinations, we identified that there's going to be vaccine hesitancy, and we knew that we needed to enlist the help and support of community partners who have a trusted relationship with the community members that they support.
So we partnered with BCPH and we began putting on equity clinics starting in March. Our first two were at Timberline K-8 school in Longmont. It was really, really successful. As a matter of fact, it was so overwhelmingly successful that BCPH agreed to do equity clinics every Tuesday at the fairgrounds. So we went from about 200 vaccines per clinic to 800 vaccines per clinic. And those continued all the way through June.
And so we started the Community Ambassador Program, and we formed it with 6 key partners, and Out Boulder has been an incredible partner for helping us to make sure that we reach our LGBTQIA+ community, because we feel that if we had not done that, we would have some gaps and limitations. And we still have gaps today, and we've had a lot of success, but we still have more work to do. And so that partnership has become critical for our response efforts in Boulder County.
La manera que la pandemia afectó a mi negocio principalmente fue de la manera financiera. Las ventas bajaron. Obviamente no fuimos el único negocio que sufrió financieramente durante la pandemia, pero estando en esa situación fue muy preocupante otra vez de la manera financiera, que podríamos potencialmente haber perdido nuestro negocio, cerrar las puertas, y entonces sí, esa fue la manera principal en la que nos afectó nuestro negocio la pandemia.
So I own 2 businesses. I own Healing Roots Acupuncture, and that's in Lakewood. And then I've just also opened a dance studio called Queer Dance Project. Well, I had to shutter my businesses. I was released by the dance school I was teaching at, and I also had to shutter my acupuncture business. But surprisingly, I was actually able to stay open 1 day a week, keep it very clean, but I was treating my traumatic brain injury patients. So it really affected me hard.
We moved on a dime and were able to secure funding to give directly to individuals. Out Boulder County over the years has never given direct aid grants. But the time was now. The board said we need to do this and we need to do it now.
We had a panel of 2 staff members and 2 community members, 2 people of color and 2 trans people, and a staff liaison member as well, discerning how to figure out the best way to most equitably distribute the funds.
They put together grant applications, got them out the door, and we had money out the door. As soon as the check would hit us from the state COVID fund or from the city or the county of Boulder, I was writing checks and they were out the door in a week. And so we were helping people, giving people a little bit of hope that they could stay in their house, that they could, pay the copay to go to the doctor, could fix their car. We were able to hire somebody to work as kind of a case manager, community outreach. And Michelle was able to then get people connected with SNAP or with Medicaid or with a food bank or with clothes or with a lawyer, whatever that we had to do during those times.
So we used a lot of factors. It was a long process to get through. It was really emotionally challenging, but ultimately in the end, for the most part, everyone that I spoke with after they received their money really understood that the process was determined with the best interest of our community at heart.
De la manera que el Direct Aid de Art Boulder me ayudó fue de una manera muy impactante, ya que el año pasado, igual durante la pandemia, necesitaba dinero para mandar mis papeleos, mi solicitud para recibir mi ciudadanía, y de la manera que ayudó Art Boulder con el programa de Direct Aid fue ayudarme para hacer los pagos de la solicitud y no perder la oportunidad de recibir mi ciudadanía.
Wow, okay, so if it wasn't for Art Boulder, I wouldn't have been able to pay rent 1 month. And then I had enough for rent 1 month, but I didn't have enough for utilities. So their first, God, they gave me like $300. It was really, it was needed. And then I couldn't pay rent a few months later, and they stepped up and helped. It was really cool.
We see something that needs to be done. We know if we just hold on another minute and reach out for support, something can change. And I think we demonstrated that throughout the pandemic of 2020.